Hello, nerds. How's everybody doing? You know what, you guys? Today has been a melancholy day. Is that okay? Am I allowed to be black and say melancholy? Melancholy? Is that okay? Do we say that? I don't know. Do black people say melancholy? I said melancholy. Am I on? Is this thing on? So, yeah, had a melancholy day because I think I'm about to transition into, back into the work world. I don't know, maybe in 30 days or so. They give me a call. And that's okay. That's okay. But let me tell you guys something else. My entrepreneur life. I'll tell you something about that. I'll tell you something about being an entrepreneur. If you don't know your next step, you're going to spend your money. You're going to waste your money. That's what happened. I did not know what my next step was. And I found myself trying to do something. It didn't work for me. Now that happens to everyone. When you step out with a few dollars, you try something that doesn't work for you. So now I'm in my transition phase. I'm transitioning from what I used to do into something else. And that's why today was a melancholy day. It's a day of, thinking it over. Yeah, think this over. I gotta think about this. I've been thinking for some time now, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna get vending machines, and am I gonna go back to college? I'm almost 60 years old. You know what I'm saying? Who's doing all this thinking at 60? Well, you're finding out that people are 70 and 80 years old and they're still working. The people who interviewed me, one of the ladies said, I retired and then I came back. You know why she came back? She was bored. She was getting her purse, her money, and she was around the house like, I'm bored. I need something to do. She came back to work part-time, then she came back full-time. So I want to say this to all of you people who are my age and you work for some company a long time and now you're chilling. You get tired. You want to do something. There's no shame in going back to work. Don't let people tell you you're too old to do something. That's another thing. People like, you're old. And I started getting into that. I'm old. But don't forget, whatever you say, your body's going to follow that. So if you go, I'm old, you're going to start feeling more older. You're going to start doing things like you're old. But if you're like, you know what, I'm not that old. I'm still young enough to do certain things, then you're going to start looking forward to those things. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to say that. And, it's just important to just be you. Love yourself. I had a hard time loving myself. I did. I had a hard time loving myself. I did. Because I didn't get love, so I had a hard time loving myself. And I'm a guy. Plus, I'm a black guy. Nobody cares. If I was a woman, you'd be like, oh, but nobody cares when you're a guy. Nobody cares when you're a guy. Black guys are on the lowest end of the totem pole. But I'm going to tell you something. You got to care about you. Screw everybody else. Stop waiting for everybody else to lift you up. Lift yourself up. Lift yourself up. Lift yourself up. just wanted to see what that was going to do. It almost worked, didn't it? Let me try something else. Let me try this. Let's try something simple. Something simple. about your day, bro? Were you here for the intro? Were you here for the intro? No, my day's been okay. My day's been okay. I just want to try some new things on here and see what it turned out to be like. But Vicky, don't lose my number. You don't have to call nobody else. Send it off in a letter to yourself. Y'all know nothing about that. Vicky, don't lose my number. It's the only one you want. Y'all know nothing about that. Baby, you'll feel better when you get home. Vicky, don't lose me. Vicky, don't lose my. Just mess around with these keys. Maybe you'll feel better when you get home. You know, I had to turn on the heat today. I'm getting a little hot. Just want to see what I come out with. Radio sound soundscapes. Nah. Sense. We are lying here. How for the first time. You and I. But that switch was something, wasn't it? Show me. Hey, it was something. Yeah. That's back when we were singing about love. Remember when everybody was in love? Love and heartbreak. Really? Denver Nuggets? Who saw that coming? The Denver Nuggets? That's an epic chord, isn't it? All right, let's make something up. Yeah, Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is, he's like, you know, I hope Shay Shay finds a good woman. He's a good dude, he's rich, but he can't find a good woman. I hope the Shaminator finds a good woman. I really do. Hope the Shaminator. Oh, how'd that go? Skip has been wrong for a long time. And that's why I stopped watching the show. When I saw him talk about him and compared to Tom Brady, that was it for me. That was it. That was it. I was like, Skip, you showed your colors. And I don't have to watch this. I don't have to watch this. And I won't. I don't want nothing to do with it. Where's that coming from? What's that? Yeah. I don't know about all that. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's been around for a long time, but he's got no right to compare somebody to two people on the field when he's never played. He doesn't know what it's like to get hit all the time like Shannon Sharpe did. He doesn't know what it's like to be in the NFL, let alone in the Hall of Fame. Shannon Sharpe's in the Hall of Fame. No, I'm good. I'm good on Skip. I'm good on all of those guys who are like that. All those commentators who never played, you know, they never took a hike. They've never gone out for a pass in their life. I don't listen to Stephen A. Smith either. I remember one time he threatened Kevin Durant, said, "You don't want me to come down there with all the knowledge." It's like nobody's afraid of you. Salute. Why did you think I was going to talk about Tori Bowie? I've already done 2 videos on Tori Bowie and hardly got any hits. I talked about Tori Bowie. We haven't come to, we don't know why she died. We just know she went crazy before she did die. She snapped out. She was throwing eggs at people's house and cursing a dude out. We don't know who the baby father is, but somebody, I mean, she lost her life and the baby's dead. You know, I don't know enough. We don't have I don't have any information on what we did on Tori Bowie. And I searched. I want to know how she did. Yeah, if somebody knows more than what they've already been saying, I want to know. Because they're not telling us anything else. They're not telling us any more about Tori Bowie. Other than her sister's a lawyer. She was found dead in her apartment. I think somebody offed her. There's no doubt. I think somebody just straight up slaughtered her. And it was probably the neighbor. She was only 32 years old. She was healthy. She didn't have no money. But somebody killed that woman. She didn't have no money. She was behind. I did find this out. She went to, where they go and practice at these big stadiums. And that's also where they live. They live at some of these places and they practice. And she went there and they said, "You have to go." She was like, "Why?" They said, "Because you owe $6,000. So you either pay it now or you got to get out." So she said they followed her to her room as if she was a common criminal. And she said, "I had no idea I owed this money." She didn't know she owed $6,000. Tori Bowie died without money. She was broke. Yeah, she died without money. So money was her biggest issue. She used to be a model. She lost her modeling contracts. They go away when in time when you're not running. When when you're not running anymore, I mean, things just changed for you. She still had a great shape on her, but at her last tryouts, she lost. She came in fourth place in the high jump. She wasn't running anymore. She came in fourth place in the high jump. And I mean, it was just, she ran her course. But she had nothing going on after that. She tried to start her own business with, hair ties, things that go on women's hair. And she was like, this is my hair tie business. And it's like, who's going to buy that? And there was some stuff she made up that was on her couch. And it was like, it was sad. She had no support team other than her sister. But, there was nobody, she didn't have anything else going on. For what we could see, for what little I know. She didn't have anything else going on. And I'm betting she, whoever the guy was, she, was pregnant by, she was probably trying to get into that relationship in order, like, okay, I did my whole career. I'm 32 now. Let's get some kids going on. And you notice that a lot of women do this. They get their career and then they go into the full family thing and try to have children when they're around 30 because their career is already, whatever they're going to do. But especially in track and field, when they're 21, they're not thinking about doing this because they're young and they're fast as hell. Their body's in peak performance, but once they start losing these competitions, then they go ahead and get married or try to get married and try to start a family. I'm going to say it again and again. A woman is not as attractive at 30 as she is at 20. When you're out there and toys still look good, but it's just not the same. Not unless you're Ashanti. Ashanti, she still looks the same. But, there's very few women who can pull that off where I've dated a couple who were banging at 40. And I mean, but when you're younger, you're just, I don't know. It's easier for black women to pull that off, but I just feel sorry for Tori. And I think, the time just caught up with her, even though she's only 32. Whoever she is in a relationship with, I just think it went south. And I think they killed her. That's what I think happened. I just can't see her pregnant and then just dying. And now they're trying to say she was crazy because she was throwing eggs and she had a knife and all this other stuff. I just think she was broken, pregnant. And so she was pissed off because she was in a bad situation. That's what I think. And she couldn't get no help from the guy she was pregnant by. And that caused her to be mean as hell. And that would cause any female to be mean as hell. Yeah. Another thing about track celebrities. Like you're seeing, okay, so let's take some of the women who did get married. Shelly Ann Fraser Price, she's married, she has a kid. You know what I'm saying? She's still out here winning, she's in her 30s. Cindy Lerone, she's married. She's at the height, she's 20 something, she's married. She's out there winning. She just lost in the 400, but who cares? She's the world record holder in the 400 hurdles. She's that girl in the 400 hurdles. But she's like, you know what? I'm gonna get married. And her man his last name was Lerone. So Cindy McLaughlin is her name. She's married. She's like, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this knot. And I mean, she's still young, so she's married. She got that out the way. But you notice a lot of these females, they're not married. When you look at Lolo Jones is not only is she not married, she's still a virgin. She's 40. Lolo Jones is beautiful. It's like you could have had a man and had a baby. But you thought that you was going to be young forever and things were just going to fall in place. That's not how it works. Especially when when you're at the height of your femininity is when you're around 22. 21, 22, you are right there. And every man who's got an interest in you, who's worth something, is coming at you, and you're probably going, I'm at the height. I just won the Olympics. I'm trying to qualify. And you're thinking about worlds. You're thinking about the next Olympics coming up in the next 4 years. Well, you'll be 24, 25 years old in the next Olympics. I mean, when you start thinking about sprinting and just track in general, you don't see a lot of 30-year-olds who are still winning the Olympics. You just don't. Everyone can't be FloJo, Marion Jones, or Jack. Well, nobody wants to be Marion Jones. But I understand your point. Yeah, it's just a bad deal. It is a bad deal for my girl. It makes a quick difference. You're on top of your game 1 year, the next year, you pull a hamstring, you're out of it, you're playing catch up. It's rough, man. Track is rough. One injury and you can forget it. One injury. And a lot of times the injury, look, some of these people are being taken out and because they're getting caught with drugs. They just took one chick, she's a steeplechase runner. They got her out of there. Another chick, white woman, distance runner, running a mile. She's in her 30s. They banned her for like 15 years. She's finished. They banned her ass. She's like, no, it was because of this. This is why this was like. It was like, we don't care. Got her right up out of there. Got her ass right up out of there. Said, you're finished. Spider, spreader, channel. Right out of there. Extremities. I'll tell you what. If you think that you're going to be young forever, you're fooling yourself. Yeah, lower extremities and track. Yeah. Look, you got some people finding out the hard way that they can run themselves right out of a championship. Look at Brittany Wilson. Brittany Wilson decided that she was going to run 2 events in the NCAA. She ran the 400 hurdles, and she won. Not only that, she qualified she ran the qualifying heats and broke the record. She broke the collegiate record, and they were like, "Why did you run so hard?" She's like, "I was always taught to go out and run hard." Well, that came back to haunt her. Then she turned around and ran the NCAA and broke the collegiate record again. And then turned around and won her heat in the 400. And now it's time for you to go ahead and compete in the NCAA in the 400. And it was just too close. You won those 2 events. Now it's in the NCAA time. And look where they're back to back. They're a half an hour off of each other. She could not recover. She's what, 19, 20? She couldn't recover. Czech Woman beat her on the stretch at about 75 yards. Brittany had nothing. Czech Woman just came down the line and they were neck and neck. 75 yards, Czech Woman just started, boom, it was over. Because Brittany had no more energy. And that's the problem when you don't listen to people. And her coach was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna let her do it," but her coach should have never let her do it. Not to mention, you have to run the you have to qualify in the 4x4 and then run the 4x4. They took her out of the 4x4. They ran her to death. They ran her. They should have never let her do that. You should have let her either qualify in the 400 or qualify in the 400 hurdles. You know both of them are back to back. She had a full day of running. She came in second, okay, but guess what? She's not a senior. So what do we see here? She could have easily came back next year and won the NCAA in the 400. And the year before that, she's already won. She already has the record. She could win the NCAA in the 400 hurdles. Now it's time to choose a race. Let's look at. I'll tell you another smart person when it comes to running, and that's Athing Mu. Athing Mu is a smart woman. She got herself a little boyfriend. He black. She hasn't ran yet, and the season's already started. She ain't ran yet. She's got a lot of buys, where she can bypass a lot of things because she's the world. She's the world leader. She's the Olympic medalist, and her competition is only really one person who is her age and runs the same time she has, but she beat her in the world's event, and she beat her in the Olympics. That's the little white girl. Pat Sajak retired from Wheel of Fortune. Pat Sajak had a good one. What's the Keely Hodgkinson? Keely Hodgkinson just ran 155. She blew everyone out. All the women that she would see in the Olympics, she blew them out by 25 yards. She just blew them. She was running so fast that she ran past the pacemaker. It's like, how do you outrun the pacemaker? I'm trying to tell you. I said Jack had a good run. Keely Hodgkinson, and now, so what do we got? So Athing Mu is like, you know what? The reason why I haven't been running the 800 is because I'm moving up to the mile. So now we get to see, yeah, she outran the pacemaker. She's like, get out the way. Get out of the way. And the pacemaker was at a full stride. In the inside lane. Pacemaker inside lane, full stride. Keely was just like, it went right around her. It's like, I gotta go. And ran a 155. Athing Mu won the Olympics with a 155. Just drink that in. That's what Hodgkinson just did. And she's the only one who can't compete with her. Raven Rogers can't compete with her. Jasmine Fry can't compete with her. Gould can't compete with her. Jim Ariki can't compete with her. None of these people can compete with her. None of them. There's no one in the world who can compete with a Thing Mo at 155 except one white chick, and she's the same age as a Thing Mo. They both run 155. A Thing Mo is like, she's like, I'm moving up to the mile. A Thing Mo can go to the Olympics and qualify in the 400. As a matter of fact, she could probably qualify in the 200. That's how fast a Thing Mo is. But Thing Mo is like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and run in the mile. I'm going to concentrate on that. Ocho Cinco's daughter, she's going to be in college soon. She can run too. Yeah, but a Thing Mo is just like, I don't have to do this. She's like, I'm the Olympic, I don't have the record, but I have the, I'm worlds last year. I'm the Olympics last year. I'm the number one person in the world. Keely Hoskinson is going to have to go 154 to beat me. And she has to race me to do it. So Thing Mo is like, yeah, I see you getting fast. I'm just going to step out of that race. She just stepped out of that race. She moved up, and now Ocho Cinco, the football player. Glorilla, she can run. Probably. She's from the hood. And another thing about a Thing Mo, see, a Thing Mo, now that she's moved up to the mile, now she has to compete against one of my favorite runners, the European star, Laura Muir, Dr. Laura Muir. She's a veterinarian. She has to run against Laura Muir, but now she has to run against Kipyego or Kipyegon, and Kipyegon just broke the world record. So it's like, good luck with that, a Thing Mo. Because not only did Kipyegon just break the world record, the second place runner just about broke the world record too. She dragged somebody right with her. It's like, oh, this is going to be good. Because now we actually get to see. Really? Well, I'd like to see her run. But Michael Jackson was fast too. He could actually, that dude was quick. But now we really get to see how fast the Thing Mo is. That's the point. Because now she's entering into an arena where she's not the fastest person. And she's not used to losing. She's going to lose if she runs the mile. She's going to lose. She's going to lose against Kipyegon. It's going to happen. So we get to see this. We get to see a Thing Mo come out and, really mature, because it's going to be a rough road. And look, Kipyegon is married with a child. She has a child. And I love it. I love it. So I'm all in the women's track right now. I'm heavy in the women's track because there's so many changes and there's so many people who are just so good that they're blowing other people out like they're not even there. I'm still upset about Caster Semenya not running the 800, but nonetheless, there's so much beautiful competition. There's world records that are being broken. You got Camacho Quinn. She broke the record in the 100, and then a chick from Nigeria came and blew everybody out. She broke the world record in the qualifiers, and then broke the same day. Broke the world record she broke the world record in the heat, and then came and won the whole thing and beat Camacho Quinn. So I'm like, yeah, I like to see that. I forgot what her name was, but she's Nigerian. And she ran a 12:02. So I'm all in track. Sha'Carri Richardson, the beautiful, is out there tearing it up. She's running ridiculous time. She just ran a 10.72. And We're just hoping Sha'Carri doesn't burn out. You know what I mean? But you got Jefferson, hell, Kayla White just beat Sha'Carri Richardson in the 200. It's like that's a big thing for Kayla White, even though she turned around and then just got beat by some European runner. So Kayla White, yeah, I see you, Kayla White. Kayla White and Sha'Carri competed in college too. So did Abby Steiner and Sha'Carri Richardson. Except Sha'Carri Richardson got out after she won the NCAA, and then Abby Steiner the next year. Then she ran, but her year was cut short because she had an injury, and then she came back out and competed and won the NCAAs. She lost in the 100, but she holds the record in the indoor 200 and the outdoor 200. Her outdoor 200 time is 21 something. But now that she's running against the major, she hasn't broken into 21. She's still at 22. Wale ran track. A lot of people ran track, high school track. Yeah. I love track and field. I might just do a whole segment on track and field. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do because that's what I like. I'm going to just do videos talking about track and field. Just give my opinion so people can come over here and get mad. Matter of fact, I'm going to music and sports. Music, track, music. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start talking about track and field more. I don't know what I'm doing with this beat. I just was. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start doing. Some track and field videos. I might even just do some track and field shorts. Just to vent, just to get it out there. Let's get out. Yeah, well. Shoot. I watch enough of it. Like what that bass. No, it wasn't. Saquon Barkley. Is he still playing? What's he play for? Not gonna get it. What up, what up? Beats by Tone, how you doing? I was trying to learn how to sample, but I couldn't get my computer to act right. Hey man, yeah, it'll be over, man. Go home. Get yourself something to chill out to. Some good music. Just vibe out, man. Say, you know what? What's what it was. I'm gonna go ahead and vibe now. You know what? That happened. Let me go vibe. Let me go vibe. Yeah, let me go find something to vibe to. need some rock. You need some rock. You need some 80s rock. I don't have any of that. My funky beats are slept on. I appreciate that. Ooh, that's warm. Heavy deadlifts. I've been chilling, man. My back is tired. Chilling. Hey man, anytime you going over 400, you gotta think about that. I'm just saying, bro. I got 15 years on you. I got 15 years of lifting weights on you. I know what it does to the body. Think about that, bro. I got 15 years of picking up heavy things. You know what I'm saying? I've never reached your strength. But nonetheless, that's still 15 years of constant doing something in the arena of working out with heavy objects. You know what I mean? So I can tell you where you're heading. I can tell you where you're going. I can just, bro, this is what's gonna happen. It's like you can tell your children, you know, what to expect when they start a new school. Listen, this is what you can expect. When you start, you know, whatever grade they're going to, hey, I was in that grade before. I can tell you what happened to me. And just let them soak that in, like, okay. And when they hit the school, they'll be like, ah, you was right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I've been there. I'm just telling you where you're headed. I ain't telling you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to, I don't have any malicious intent. Because, you know, some people tell you stuff because they act like they know and you don't. So you should I know and you don't. You know, it's just like, no. Experience is a teacher, man. And I can just tell you, 15 years from now, you're going to think about the Terminator and you're going to go, he was correct. He is correct. And listen, yeah, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I would head towards calisthenics if I were you. I would start heading towards stretching because it's okay to be strong. But what really matters when you get older is your flexibility. I'm telling you, listen, it matters to, can I get down on the floor and get back up? Now you can do that with ease. Me, you should see me getting up. I don't pop up. Bro, I turn over. I gotta make sure this leg is here. Then I take my time to push on this arm. I am in nobody's hurry to stand up. But that's what it comes down to. Can I get down on the ground and stand back up relatively easy? And you know what stops that? Flexibility. Flexibility is listen, people, because you can find somebody who's old and strong, but they're not flexible. A lot of times our injuries comes from just not being flexible. And this stuff right here. You ain't had enough of this in you. Or enough fruits, H3O. You ain't had enough fruit juice in you, H3O, and you know what I'm saying, you ain't been eating enough fruit, you don't, you know, your salt is off and this is too high. But what it really comes down to is why your muscles are hurting is because you don't have enough water going on in there. And because you don't, when you get down, and I'm talking about if you lay down on the ground, and it's like, go ahead and get up. You're going to find out where most old people struggle is just standing. Not from a sit down, from a lay down, and then from a sit down. Boy, it's a chore. That's why you find old people struggling going up the stairs. Like, why are you struggling so much going up the stairs? They're just stairs. Well, that's what age does to you. And when you're not flexible, it compounds that. Yeah, it compounds. So it starts, oh, I can't lay down, and then, you know, and then it works all the way up to just, if you're in your bed, getting out of bed. And then that's why you see where do a lot of old people die? In the bed. You know why? Because they couldn't get up. They didn't have the energy. Yeah. No, do that. Just don't become some religious yogi fanatic. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I don't criticize anybody who does any moving sport. Ballet, I don't care if you're playing like racquetball, get into that for the knee strength and cartilage. I don't, man, you're doing ballet. I don't criticize nobody doing that stuff. I'm like, you're doing what? How do you do that? Then when you look at the flexibility of these people, like jazz and dance and stuff like that, oh, I don't criticize nobody getting it in like that. Nobody. Mm-mm. Because you got to move. You got to, you got to be fluid. I'm trying to tell you, this is why when you go to old folks' home, they play a lot of music because they want them to stand up and move. Because if they don't and they lay in bed, that's when they start getting bed sores. And once they get those open sores, that's when the flies come in and lay their larvae, and the flies are eating the people, which is what they're supposed to do. When you see a lot of people that can't get up, that's why they can't get up. They're not flexible anymore. They don't have the energy, and that's why a lot of old people die in bed. They're just like, I can't do it anymore, and then that's it for them. It's lights out. A lot of old people don't die and just fall out on the floor. No, they die in bed. Even when they're by themselves, where'd they die at? In the bedroom. They couldn't get up. It was over. So your flexibility and your strength will help you live a long time. Way past 70. Way past 70. I stretch every day. I don't have a routine. I just feel pain every day. So I gotta do, these and but that's what car accidents do. It tightens up your muscles, and when you don't, get that out of there, then you're all verklempt. So I have to do this every day. But that's also why I don't lift every day. I try to lift maybe twice a week, but I don't get out there and try to compete with people 15 years younger than me. I don't do that. Yeah, swimming laps, that too. That weightlessness. That weightlessness of swimming. I'm not competing with these 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds. I can't. They can run circles around you. They have the flexibility, the speed, the healing factor. But this is also why eating particular plants can actually help your reflexes. You know how I go, but I won't do anything. If you can get the right plants together and the right diet to match your frequency, there's no doubt that I think you could live to 200 years old. I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt that there are particular plants. If you got the right plant, the right frequency, I have no doubt that, how you could live to 300-400 years old. There's just no doubt in my mind. God has actually put a limiter on us, but nonetheless, God says, what, 120? We don't even, the average person doesn't even live that long. But if you read in the Bible, God talks about how people who die at 1,000 years old will, it'll be disappointing. It'll be like, why did you die? That's in the scriptures. People are going to live way past 1,000 years old. Like a person that dies at 1,000 will be young. Well, that's the thing. Now, that's the thing. What plants? Now, see, you have everybody who suggests plants, flaxseed oil, or flaxseed, or they suggest, greens, or they may suggest, certain roots and this, that, and the other. But I'm going to tell you something. Each one of us are beautifully and wonderfully made. We all have our, we're carbon-based, individuals. But we're not all on the same frequency. And I think if you can match the frequency of what you consume and tweak that frequency, like here's a way to tweak a frequency of your own body. Listen to nothing but positive music. Pop music is a frequency. What happens to people who listen to positive music? They're positive. They're happy. They'll probably live longer. They know that the world is, a cesspool. But nonetheless, they're like, I'm going to battle it by listening to more positive music. What happened to people who exercise their brain more? Alzheimer's doesn't hit them as hard when they get older. You know what I'm saying? People who draw and art therapy and all that other stuff, it doesn't get to them as much. You know what I mean? Just doing that, or people who go out in nature. You find out a lot of these people who are Indians out here in their native land still doing a lot of natural things. They're 110 years old and they're still out there picking beans, and it's just beautiful. You'll find a lot of African women that are like that, 105, 110 years old, and they're outside picking food to eat because their body's used to it. They're used to it. So what you have to do is find out the frequency of a plant that you can consume. Like dandelions you can consume. There's dandelion salad. Dandelions heal a lot of things about you. They grow in your backyard. Actually, the grass itself that grows in your backyard, it has healing factors. A lot of the weeds that you see have healing factors. So you have to find out what your frequency is. And how do we do that? How do we find out our frequency? I don't know. So just my frequency. I don't know what a frequency flyer up. Okay, how do I know what my frequency is? Everybody has one. When you're born, you have one. It's automatically. Find your vibrational frequency. The higher your vibrational frequency is, the happier and more productive you are. What was I just saying? Listen to positive music makes you positive. It doesn't make you stupid. Like you're not going to go to Watts, California and think you're not going to get your head blown off if you're in a place that you don't belong. But it makes you more positive. Find your frequency can help you heal and move towards your highest potential. That's what this article says right here. Finding a vibrational frequency. Everything that has a frequency on earth, plants, living beings, sound, light, and even thoughts are thoughts and feelings. Your frequency is your state of being, how you feel at The higher your frequency is, the happier and the more productive you are. Finding your frequency can help you heal more towards your highest potential. Then they're looking at a personal, I don't frequency test, Santiago frequency test. Discover your ideal frequency. Take the test. So here's some kind of weird test you have to take. And it just, how do you experience stress? And then it has a bunch of questions. You know, anxious thoughts, lose sleep, anger, all of the above. And there's a test you can take. But I believe that there's something else that you can do other than take a test. I believe there's actually a way you can find out how fast you're vibrating. Hold on, I'll be right back. Gotta grab some water. On some of this. Yeah, so taking a frequency test, finding out what your frequency is. Because so my back hurts, right? My muscles in the back. So I think I can heal myself with some herbs. Now, here's what I don't believe. I don't believe that I can turn myself back to the age of 30. But here's what I do believe. I do believe the muscle memory of 30 can be obtained. So speed, quickness, strength, power. We go to the gym for that. We eat certain things for that, right? We think that if we lift something heavy, the muscle will get used to it. Our muscles will become big. But here's the thing about that. If you stop doing it, what happens to your muscles? They get weak. But where do your muscles turn back to? See, that's the real question. If I stop lifting weights, I've been doing it, let's say I've been doing it for 5 years. I'm curling, I got huge biceps. If I stop lifting for 5 years, what strength level do I go back to? Where I was before I started? just because I did live for 5 years and now I stopped for 5 years, am I stronger than what I was if I would have never started, or am I still stronger than the journey I started? The answer is you're stronger than the journey you started. But eventually, what time does is the older you get and the more you don't do these things, you regress past that. So now you have to figure out, how can I stay at peak human performance at whatever age? If I'm 50, how can I be a peak human at 50? If I'm 60, how can I be a peak human at 60? That's where food comes in. It's not necessarily lifting weights the way I look at it. I look at it as what you eat should be able to keep you at peak performance. Should be able to keep your healing at peak performance, and should be able to it should be able to keep your other parts of you healthy, because you're at a peak performance state. Now, when you look at some of these cartoons and comic books, these superheroes, I pay attention to the superhero that has no ability but can still fight. Now, of course, they'll get smashed when it comes to going up against somebody who's a metahuman. But nonetheless, not always. If you look at somebody who's peak performance, you look at the Batman. Of course, this is a comic book character. But the Batman stayed at peak performance. Even when he got into his 50s, he was able to fight somebody who was 21 and beat him because he slowed the guy down. He was smarter than the guy, but the guy was way faster than him. Batman couldn't keep up with him. So what did he do? He fought him in a mud pit. So he made the guy's reaction slower so Batman could slowly pick him apart. And that's how he beat him. I am of the belief that your body can hit a certain limit and it can stay there for a prolonged period of time. I think that you can hit 40 and stay at 40 well into your 80s. I just believe that. I believe you can take and you don't have to be a super dude. Like Jack LaLanne was a super dude. The stuff he did was incredible. All the exercising he did was incredible. I'm sure he had a great diet. Loved Jack LaLanne. Loved him. Problem is, when he hit 80 years old, that was it. He died. Now, what did he die of? I don't know. But 80, boom, he's dead. So even though he was a super dude, he did all these incredible feats. He still died at the same age as an average guy. It doesn't seem fair. It seemed like Jack LaLanne should have lived to 130. Hell, he should still be alive at 130. I'm just saying, he was a super dude, great resting heart rate, all the stuff he did, just excellent. He dies at 80 something. It just seems unfair to me, and I'm thinking that if he knew the frequency of his body and matched it up with the frequency of a particular diet, not a keto and all this other BS that people hand you. His personal diet that he studied, and he found out that a mixture of these plants, these particular plants, I don't know yet, but I'm just saying, if I mix, the purple corn flour with flaxseed, with regular romaine, and then toss in, these particular herbs on top of it, and made it delicious, where I can get, my protein and all my nutrients, all my vitamins, and they're all at a high frequency. And this is without me having to grow it myself. I can just go and buy this stuff. And if I want to grow it myself and see if I can get even better frequency. But if I can get all this stuff together and put it together and then test its frequency, let me try this combination. Boom. Try this. Boom. And then when you find the right ones, that's boom, it's red light, red light, red light, red light, boom, green light, and it's hitting at 100% the same frequency that you're hitting on. But when you were, 25, what if you keep eating that energy signature? If you keep eating that same energy signature, what's your body going to do? Your body is going to, your cells are going to say, okay, this is what I did at 25. Listen, your cellular memory is going to go, at 25, I had this strength. I did this, my heart did that, my lungs did this, my brain did that. And you're going to feel it. It's going to be like getting hit with stem cells. It's exactly what it is, actually. But you don't have to pay $20,000 for it. Your brain, your fluid, your spinal fluid, everything, it's all going to be like getting hit with stem cells. And you're going to be like, whoa, your eyesight's going to get better. That's what happens when you take stem cells. Your eyesight gets better. Your strength comes back, all of that stuff. Like, they're finding all of this stuff out, and I think you can just do it with plants. You can just do it with plants, and I'm not talking about special plants. People want you to eat certain roots and all this other stuff. No, you can go to the grocery store and mix some of those plants and fruits together, and when you weigh them, I don't know what kind of meter you would use, but when you have a frequency meter, well, that's what you'd use. You'd use a frequency meter. And let's just say it was like a microwave or something. You put all this food together, you puree it with some spring water, and you have, a plastic bowl. You put it in the plastic bowl, and you have so many ounces of it, like you're going to eat porridge or something, or grits. And you put that bowl on top of this meter, and you find out what vibration it has. But before you do that, you put the bowl on top of the meter. Then you minus out the vibration of the bowl. Now whatever's in the bowl is the only, it's picking up that vibration. So let's just say a bowl has a vibration of, I don't know, just throw a number out there, 200. So you're like, okay, 200 for this particular plastic bowl. Now I'm going to add in my mix of fruits and vegetables. Boom. I know everything is moving, but I don't know how fast it's moving. I don't know what the frequency of it is. You put it on there, boom. Now it's 650. Well, you minus out your 200 for the bowl. Now you got 450. Now you figure out what your vibration is. Now here's the thing. You can't put yourself on this particular meter, right? So you have to find a way to measure your vibration. So one or two things has to happen. The scale has to get larger so you can stand on the scale and measure your vibrations. And or you're going to have to reduce yourself in some kind of way where the vibration could be measured. But whatever way you do it, let's say your vibration is 5,000 or whatever. I'm just throwing something out there. You got what you eat, that's at a vibration of 450. What you are is at 5,000, and you're constantly at 5,000. So if you ate something that's at 450, what's that going to do to you? And that's the hypothesis. You know what it's going to do to you in vitamins and minerals, but you don't know exactly what the frequency is. So now you have a hypothesis that you can work with. And then you just take it from there. How many grapes would make this frequency go up? What will that do to me? If I put in an extra grape, an extra seed, an extra this, if I added in natural cane sugar, if I added in sea salt, what is this going to do? And once you work with that hypothesis, you can find out what the peak frequency is for your body at 5,000. It might be, 495.3. And, when you ate something 3 times a day, and you're just like, I ate this 3 times today, how do I feel? And if you felt better that day than you've ever felt, then you keep doing it. You keep doing it. And if it starts to reduce inflammation in your body, if it starts to, your eyesight gets better, your hearing gets better, your knees don't hurt don't hurt at all. You're now and now you're sitting and standing erect. Now you're getting out of bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're just like, I'm not doing nothing. Well, you get up, you start knocking out push-ups. You go out for a jog at 5 o'clock in the morning. You come home and you eat yourself some more of that energy signature, and then boom, you get the kids up, you get the wife up. She's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Hey, listen, I've been up since 4. I'm ready." You guys get the house together, you leave, I don't know, whatever your routine is. And you're just boom, firing on all cylinders all day. And you're just like, what's going on? Did I drink some Red Bull? No, because that's poison. You ate something that's at a high energy signature, and it's been at this high energy signature. You're just finding out that it's peaking you. Now somebody else ate it, they might not feel the same thing. But that's because they don't know what their energy signature is. You know what yours is. And theirs is just not the same as yours. They don't weigh as much as you do. They don't do the same things that you do. They're not as old as you. They weren't born on the same day in the same region. They don't have the same amount of melanin in their skin as you do, which is huge. Melanin is an energy conductor. They don't have as much melanin as you do. So there's just a lot of science that could go into it, but it could all come out, and say, boom, I need to eat this, 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 and this. And that's why I think a lot of these people who I think should still be alive, they're dead when they have no business dying. Jack LaLanne had no business dying at 80, but we all accept it because we're so used to dying at 70 and 80. I don't accept it at all. Jack LaLanne should still be swimming around somebody's harbor with boats in his mouth and pulling boats. He should still be doing it. There's just no doubt in my mind. Somebody that physical and that strong and that smart should be dead. There's no way. So, anyways, that's my diatribe on that. Are you there? Frequency meter. Hey, you might be gone. You might be gone. Anyways, I got it out. expensive.